Hello, dear students. Good morning. This is Pratap Hegde, and I will also be taking classes for you, that is BCom third semester, along with SK Hegde, sir. So, this is my first class for you, and I have been taking final year classes till now. So, this is my first class for third semester, and the subject is monetary economics. And I will also continue from where SK sir has stopped. So we are studying unit 1, that is meaning and definitions of money. So I'm sure SK sir has told you about what money means and what are the definitions. So I will shortly revise about that. I will just revise about what sir has already told, and later we will going to study about the various types of money. So first of all, what do you mean by money, or what is money? Money is not just the note or currency we are using today. Money doesn't just mean that. Money has a wide definition. So, what is the meaning of money? Money is generally anything which is considered as a medium of exchange. Understood? Money is generally anything which is considered as a common medium of exchange. So, whatever is used to exchange goods and services, or whatever is used in order to measure the value of the goods and services, can be considered as money, isn't it? So money is not only just the notes, or the 100 rupees notes, 500 rupees notes, or 2000 rupees notes, or 5 rupees, 2 rupees, or 1 rupee coin. Or money can be said that, or money can be defined as anything which is commonly used and accepted by everyone as a medium of exchange and measure of value. So money is not of recent origin. The concept of money has been generated for a long ago now, but the money we are using presently, that is paper currency and coin currency, it was of the recent origin. This paper currency and coin currency was not established long ago, but it was originated very recently, that is about 100 or 200 years ago. So before that, or long ago, various types of currencies were considered as a medium of exchange, that is money. So there are various types, or various commodities which were accepted as money all over the world. So coming to the types of money, that is types of money. There are various types of money. First of all, before the origin of money, or before the origin of any currency, barter trade was in practice. I think you have heard about barter system in the previous classes. So what do you mean by barter system, or what do you mean by barter trade? Barter system means exchange of goods and services. Understood? Barter means exchange of goods and services without the existence of money. So in ancient times, people used it to exchange goods for another goods. So in case, for example, someone wanted to purchase rice, he had to give some goods in return. So the money concept was not originated. The money concept was not introduced then. So barter system or commodity exchange system was in practice. So in order to purchase some commodity, the person had to give some commodity. In case he had to purchase wheat, he had to give some commodity to the wheat producer. So in that way, the commodities were exchanged. So farmers exchanged their goods with industrialists, and industrialists exchanged their goods with these farmers. and vice versa, services were also be exchanged. So some service provider provided his service to another person, and in return he used to get another service or other commodity. So the exchange of goods and services for goods and services is called as barter trade or barter system. So barter system is yet present in some remote villages also, in many part of the world, and in even in India also in some villages barter system is still present. So money is not used as medium of exchange. In some cases, barter system still exists. So you might have seen in your villages also. So one household provides help, or one household provides goods and services to other household in return of another commodity or another service. So they do not use money for that. So still barter system is somewhat present in some of the remote villages all over the world. This system was abandoned because of the various limitations in this system. So this system holds various limitations. That's why barter system was abolished. So what were those limitations? What are the problems which we face if we keep on using barter system? Those limitations are, that is, lack of double coincidence, or the problem of double coincidence. So for example, if a person has wheat, he wanted he wanted rice. What happens if he doesn't find rice grower? What happens? He doesn't come across any rice grower. What happens? All the villagers or all the residents of a society grow only wheat. So what happens then? Then there will be no exchange, isn't it? So if the producers are identical, if the producers produce only one type of commodity in a locality, there will arise a problem of double coincidence. So same producers will have to look for another producer who grows other materials which is demanded by them, isn't it? So there is the problem of double coincidence. There is another problem. There is also another limitations to the barter system, that is storage of value. In the barter system, the problem of storage of value arises. In case some producers produce perishable goods, like for example, some producers produce vegetables, or some producers produce fruits, or some producers, for example, chicken or fish. So these types of goods are called as perishable goods. They are not durable goods. They cannot be kept for a long time period, isn't it? So fruits and vegetables will be perished in a very short amount. So their commodities cannot be stored for a long term. The exchange has to take place within a week or within 2 weeks, isn't it? If the exchange does not take place within a week or two, then their commodities will get wasted. It will be rotten, isn't it? So in case of this, their products cannot be stored for a long time period. So what happens? They will be left with nothing after a very short term period. But what about money? What about paper currency, or what about metal currency? They can be stored for a very long time period, isn't it? So even if we keep our money in our pockets for even a year, its money remains the same. Its value remains the same. So if we keep 100 rupees notes in our pocket for 1 year, that 100 rupee note can be still used. That's value will not decrease. But in the barter system, some perishable goods lose their value within a very short term period. So in case of fruits, in case of vegetables, or in case of food grains, they will be very fresh for a very short term period. So once they get rotten, it will be of no use. And also some goods will go on diminishing, or some goods value will go on decreasing as time decays, as time passes. So the value of these commodities will go on decreasing day by day. But in case of money, or in case of paper currency, this will not happen. The value of the money remains same even after a very long time period. So another problem in barter system is lack of storage, or lack of storage value. There are many other problems regarding barter system, that is lack of storage value, and another one is double coincidence, the problem of double coincidence, and similar many other problems are there that we will discuss further, that we will discuss detailed in the next classes. Now we are studying only the types of money. That's why we will be very brief here. We will be very short here. We will not study much about the limitations of barter system. We will move on to the second type of currency, or second type of money, that is commodity money. Second one is commodity money. So what's the difference between barter system and commodity system or commodity money? Both seems similar, isn't it? There is a major difference or distinction between this barter system and commodity money. That is, in the barter system, every commodity or every service was considered as, or was used for exchange of other goods and services. But in case of commodity money, a particular commodity was used as the medium of exchange. For example, in different communities, different commodities were considered as money, or different goods were considered as money, and they were used as a medium of exchange. A strange commodity was used in African countries in very ancient time period. So can you guess what commodity was used as a medium of exchange in Africa very in the ancient time period? I think nobody can guess, because Africans or some tribes in Africa used the skull of human beings. That's right. The skull of human beings were used as a medium of exchange. So in certain tribes, the bones of some animals or some bones of human beings, and in Africa, a certain community used the skull of human beings as a medium of exchange. In certain parts, the venom of snakes, that is the poison of snakes, was also used as a medium of exchange or as a money. So in various tribes and in various communities, many commodities were used as the medium of exchange. So this also holds various limitations like barter system. These commodities were not very durable. There was a problem of storage. There was a problem of double coincidence. So there was a problem of measure of value, or the measure of exact value of the commodity. So major problems were faced by both these systems, that is barter system and commodity money. So that's why over the years, this commodity money or commodity system was also uh, declined. This commodity system also was also discarded, and later on, in very recently, for 600 or 700 years, metallic money was introduced. So metallic money was introduced after the commodity money failed to deliver the needs of the people. When it failed to provide what the people wanted to do exactly, metallic money was started to invent. So metallic money means money or currency made of various metals. So in the rule of kings and in the rule of emperors, metallic money was very popular. So the rulers and kings started minting their own coins made of gold, silver, copper, and iron also. Some other kings, some other rulers also used various other metals like brass also. So iron and brass in some cases were also used for minting their coin. So gold and silver coins were very of high value. They held very high value, and other copper, iron, and brass coins were of low values. So many rulers minted their own gold, silver, copper, and iron and brass coins. They used it to mint their national emblem, maybe their flags, maybe their initials, or maybe their names, their whatever they liked and whatever they wanted to say on these coins made of these metals. And some metal currency is still used nowadays, isn't it? So uh, coins made of steel and iron mixture is used even today. 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 5 rupees coin, or even 10 rupees coins also. So metallic money is also present nowadays in all over the world, and it was originated after the commodity money was failed to deliver what the people exactly wanted to do. So metallic money is very durable. Metallic money lasts for a very long time period. It does not get destroyed, it does not get wasted, it does not get rotten. So it can be stored somewhere for a very long time period. So the metallic money is still used today because of the its durability, and also the value can be reduced, or the small value currency can be minted using this metal money. So nowadays gold and silver coins are not in circulation because the rate is very high. So that's why steel and iron mixture coins were used today. So this is the third system of currency. Now coming to the fourth system, that is the system of coinage. The system of coinage. As I told earlier, as metallic money was introduced, many rulers and kings minted their own currencies, maybe in square symbol, or maybe in rectangular shape, maybe in triangle shape. So metallic money did not hold exact shape and size of the coins. Metallic money did not have specific standards for the denominations of the currency. So some rulers minted square, some minted in round shapes, some minted money in triangle shape, some minted without any shapes. So metallic money was introduction of today's coinage system. So in past or ancient times, there was no specific size and denomination of the metallic money. They were only made of gold, silver, copper, iron, and other various metals. But after this, the system of coinage was introduced. The system was coins was introduced, and most of the currency or most of the uh, medium of exchange introduced in the system of coinage are round. They are in round shape. So the system of coinage was introduced after metallic money proved to be very easy and convenient way of storing value and as a medium of exchange. And then the system of coinage was introduced. Next comes the presently used paper money. I hope you are able to see this, what I'm writing in the lower side of the board. Yes. Then the next one is the paper money, the type of currency or the type of money which we are using today. So we can see about 1 rupee coin, sorry, 1 rupee paper, 5 rupee note, 10 rupee, 100, 200, 500, and 2000 rupee notes in India. So all over the world, there are many types of paper currencies as of various denominations, various values. So paper money is also very popular because of the exact medium of exchange, as it shows the exact value of the currency, exact value of the money, and also it is very easy to store in small places. So because of its merits, paper money is being used as a medium of exchange. The last type is the sixth one, that is credit money. Sorry, the sixth one is credit money, which is also getting very popular nowadays, which is in the system of online money, or which is in the system of money in the bank, which we transfer online through electronic devices from one account to another account, from one person to another person. So this credit money is also becoming very popular nowadays. Credit money means the amount will be in our account in e format, in soft copy format. So we do not have to get hold of the money. We can transfer the money from one account to another account from electronic devices. So we do not need to transfer the money in physical form. The money can be transferred, or money can be uh, get money can be transferred from another account to our account electronically, and it is a very convenient method. I think I have left something here, that is after metallic money, that is the coins of inferior metals. The coins of inferior metals, that is the fourth one. What do you mean by inferior metals? Inferior metals means metals of cheap value, or metals of less value or less quality. So after the introduction of metallic money, which was used by uh, the rulers and emperors, and metallic money was mainly made of gold, silver, and such costly materials, such uh, huge value materials. But after introduction of metallic money, some rulers also, some administrators also introduced coins of inferior metal, some coins of less quality metals, so that they are only used as a medium of exchange, so that they will be of lesser value, and they introduced the coins of inferior metals like brass, copper, and low quality iron also. So coins of inferior metals were introduced after the introduction of metallic money. So we will continue the next topic in the next class, and that's all for today. Thank you.